This guy will never fight anybody at a fair.
Ryan Garcia still don't believe Gervonta Davis is that good. He says it's a blueprint behind him and he's going to reveal it. And I'm going to let y'all know what he said in this video. But before we do that, make sure that you hit my like button, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to comment after the video is done because y'all know I want to hear from y'all. So this past April, we finally got to see the fight that they have been hyping up for years and years. For those who don't know, Ryan Garcia and the Gervonta Davis fight, it didn't just take place out of nowhere. They had been hyping this fight since 2018, and we finally got it in 2023. In the fight, yeah, it popped off big because it did over 1.2 million pay-per-view buys, and it surprised a lot of people because as far as two real boxers getting in the ring with each other, putting on a pay-per-view, I'm not talking about retired legends. I'm not talking about YouTubers in exhibition fights. I'm talking about two real active fighters. We hadn't seen pay-per-view numbers like this since Floyd Mayweather. Now, we all know what went down in that fight. You know, Tank Davis, he dropped Ryan Garcia early with a flash knockdown. And a flash knockdown means that you get right back up, you know. But later on in that fight, you know, I believe it was, the 7th, 8th round? Ryan Garcia got dropped with a body shot, and he decided he wasn't going to get back up. So Tank Davis, he got the stoppage in that fight. But Ryan Garcia still talking shit. He don't believe all the hype that the fans believe in Gervonta Davis. You know what I'm saying? He think it's all a facade. He think it's all a part of the blueprint, right? And he says, man, Tank Davis' whole thing is to get people in the ring with him when he has the upper advantage. Now, we know where this stems from. Ryan wanted to have a fight at 140. Tank said he wanted to have a fight at 135. So Tank said, well, I'll give you 1 pound. We fight at 136, 1 pound as much as I'm giving you, or the fight will not happen. Ryan Garcia agreed, but then we found out something else was added in the stipulations. That Ryan Garcia had also a rehydration clause put on him to where he had to weigh in the day of the fight and he couldn't be over 10 pounds. So, you know, Ryan was complaining about that in the build-up of the fight, saying that Tank Davis was trying to drain him. Now, when Gervonta Davis was asked about the situation, he admitted it, and he says, well, you think I was going to let him come in big? You think I was going to let him come in the 170s? But we got to keep it real. It ain't no way that Ryan was going to gain 35 to 40 pounds in 24 hours. So Tank was pushing it when he said that. But, you know, Ryan would have probably came in the fight, you know, in the 150s. Tank said that. He said, I wasn't going to let him come in big. He's too big. And he also says, look, if I had a chance, I would have drained him down to 126 if I could. So that was kind of crazy, you know, hearing Tank say that and admitting, yeah, I'm draining him. I put a rehydration clause on him, but he's big. Now, I'm a Gervonta Davis fan, but all of the Tank Davis fans, they didn't have a problem with that. They was feeling it. Oh, yeah, well, Ryan's too big. Look how big he is. And my whole stance is like, bruh, you can't say shit like that. You can't just admit that you put a rehydration clause on somebody because you felt that they was too big. If that's the case, don't fight them. So it was a whole big, you know, issue going back and forth with the whole rehydration clause thing. But at the end of the day, everybody pretty much agreed that Ryan Garcia, he signed the contract, right? You had a choice to take the fight or not take the fight. But Ryan said, hey, the fight wouldn't have happened if I didn't agree to these stipulations that Gervonta had. So I had to agree to the stipulations to give the fans what they wanted. So Ryan gave most of the boxing world exactly what they wanted because Gervonta Davis has a huge fan base and all the Tank Davis fans want to see Ryan Garcia get his ass knocked out. And pretty much that's what happened, but it happened in a different way. He got dropped by a body shot and he pretty much, you know, said, no mas, I'm good. Now listen to what Ryan has to say about Gervonta Tank Davis today and possibly having a rematch with him.
So that Tank fight will take place at 140. Is that the only way you would take the rematch?
He will never fight me. I don't think at 140. This guy will never fight anybody at a fair thing. He just won't. He just won't. He literally won't. He won't chance it. He won't chance it because he don't have that dog. And he don't really have that. He don't have that spirit of like the old school fighters. Doesn't. But I don't care. He's gonna have to come to me. Want to know why? Because he can't sell pay-per-view. That's why Sean O'Malley can't fight him. That's why UFC said no. He's not a star. Brian brought all the pay-per-views. He can't be a star if he's doing 150K buys. How can he be a star? I popped him up. Remember that? I gave him some stardom. Now he's popping. But like I said, you have to have two fighters to tank him.
So y'all heard Ryan. Now, not only did he say that he is scared to fight him at a weight division where everything is on the even playing field, he also said that he wasn't even the real star. Now, let's talk about the first thing that he said about the even playing field and how he don't think that Gervonta will ever fight him at his weight division of 140 pounds. Is there any truth to this? Now, I know all of the diehard Tank fans already know what y'all gonna say. Y'all gonna say that Ryan is salty and that Ryan Garcia is clout chasing. Well, you can't say that he's clout chasing because both of these guys got together and they did huge pay-per-view numbers together. He was telling the truth when he said that Gervonta Davis wasn't doing big pay-per-view numbers before he fought Ryan Garcia because the biggest pay-per-view that he had done was with Rolly, and that was 250K. And we all know that Rolly, he sold a lot of that fight with his mouth. Let's just be honest. Now, I'm not saying that Gervonta Davis is not a star because Tank Davis, he sell out arenas anywhere he go. But being a pay-per-view star is a much different story. And a lot of people have been saying this, right? But the only way to find out is in Gervonta Davis's next fight. If he doesn't do nowhere close to 1 million pay-per-view buys, well then what Ryan Garcia is saying is the truth. It's facts. But we only know until Gervonta Davis has his next pay-per-view fight, and then we'll see if he's really a superstar on his own like that. I think that what Ryan was saying, the blueprint to pay-per-view is putting on two big names and putting them together. Then you'll get the big numbers. He says, look, I'm not putting this guy Oscar Duarte on pay-per-view with me because don't nobody know who he is. So I'm not going to rob the fans putting on an event that I know that's not pay-per-view worthy with a guy that nobody never heard of before. And as a fan of boxing, I could dig that. See, I'm not a fanboy that just ride with everything my favorite fighters say and just because it's my favorite fighter is okay. Nah. I'm a fan of the sport of boxing. I've been a fan before these guys were even alive. So yeah, I can feel what Ryan Garcia was saying because everybody is not a pay-per-view star and every fight is not pay-per-view worthy, right? This is not the 90s no more. This is not the early 2000s no more. This is not the 80s no more. Boxing is not like it used to be. And TV is not viewed like it used to be viewed back then. So I have to say that Ryan Garcia is right when he says, hey, everybody trying to act like that Gervonta Davis is a big, huge pay-per-view star, but he sold that many pay-per-views is because we both got together and we both carried a big name in the sport. Now, as far as what he's saying is that Tank won't ever fight nobody on the even playing field. Well, could there be truth to this statement? It might be some truth to this statement. Because if you look back at Gervonta Davis's career, when he fought Mario Barrios, we also found out that Mario Barrios came out doing this whole Ryan Garcia and Gervonta Davis build-up, and he revealed that he had a rehydration clause put in his contract also. Not only that, I know for a fact from speaking to people that was actually in the training camp with Mario Barrios, and Mario Barrios was about to move up to 147 pounds before he got the call to fight Gervonta Davis because he was struggling making 140 pounds and he was damn near killing himself. So he already had decided to move up to 147. So killing yourself to make the weight and then having a rehydration clause put on you, you know, That's gonna kill you. But when you the A side, people do things for money. And Mario Barrios, he took that fight because they offered him the most money that he was gonna make in his whole entire career. But after that fight, Gervonta said, hey, I'm not fighting at 140 pounds no more. Those guys are too big. And then you go look back at Hector Garcia, the fighter that Tank Davis fought before Ryan Garcia, and he had to move up in weight. Then you look at guys like Leo Santa Cruz, a much smaller fighter that had made his career fighting in a weight class to 2 weight classes below. So when you keep it real about the situation and you look at the whole picture, Gervonta Davis does have a track record of fighting guys that have to come up in weight to fight him, or he's fighting bigger guys that are struggling making the weight and he's putting rehydration clauses on them. This ain't nothing that I'm saying to hate. This is just the true facts around the situation. So, in 2024 and beyond, Gervonta Davis, he's going to have to change this stigma that people have on him. He's going to have to shut everybody up by fighting the top fighters on an even playing field. No rehydration clauses, none of that. And give Ryan Garcia that smoke back. If Ryan Garcia think that Gervonta Davis ain't him, he don't think that he the real deal, go in there and shut his mouth. Anyway, y'all let me know how y'all feel about this. Drop a comment in the comment section. And y'all already know how I do. There you go, talking that boxing again. And I'm gone.